Right. Hello, hello, hello. This is High Priestess Jamila. I wanted to come and speak really quickly about slander, about slandering someone's name, and what are the karmic um what kind of karmic debt will you have now? I have a theory that the people that lie the most, they have the worst debt, the worst spiritual debt. Okay, what's up, Mary? Hey, post it in the chat. I'm glad you have some good news. Yes, happy Friday. Um, Now, first of all, I already know that this discussion is going to get some hatred from some people. And the reason why is because a person that has a set of values that has a value system that is set, they're going to already know what I'm talking about. So, most people that will come here to listen to this will probably have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But then again, there's probably going to be some people that are going to be upset, not accepted, not accept the things that I'm saying, and they're going to have some sort of cognitive dissonance about it because, this is the activities that they engage in. Okay. Oh, congrats. Oh, my goodness, a baby. Oh, that is so sweet. Congrats, babe. Congrats. All right, so we got 10 in the chat. If you guys could hit the thumbs up, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome. So, let me just tell you guys something. Most codependents tell the most lies. And the reason why codependent people tell the most lies is because they have to, if they have done something to you and they want to either save face or either make some sort of attempt to make themselves look better, they may say something they may claim that you said something or claim that you did something. Okay. And the reason why they're going to do that is because they don't want to own up. So victim players and people that lack backbone are the biggest liars. They're the ones that are always being sued for slander. And most of them just don't care, because it's all about covering up their mistakes, not facing their mistakes. And so, so a lot of the people that are going to watch this, especially my haters, are going to be upset about this because this has been their claim to fame, is slandering me. Okay. Because I've been here. I've been there, done that with people saying anything. The problem with slander is that, number one, you can be sued for it. Now, a lot of people seem to take it for granted. You think that if you go into a civil courtroom and somebody has evidence against you, that you have lied on them and that you have slandered them, okay, and they have that proof and evidence against you, you can actually be sued. And these American courts are not kind, because what they will do is they will put in a judgment amount in that county that you live in. And if you're not able to pay it all at once, they'll probably garnish your wages, or and this is more debt. So then you've created debt. because, and the reason why you created debt is because you created injury to another person. So that's the number one issue with it. The other issue is the karmic debt. You cannot just go around saying whatever you feel. That's not freedom of speech. Many people get this confused. Many people get freedom of speech and slander confused. Freedom of speech means that you have the right to have an opinion. You cannot state or lie about what you witnessed. You cannot state or lie on someone and say that they said something, because guess what? That could potentially ruin that person's reputation. That could potentially ruin someone's trust. Okay? Hey, super platonic. So, and I feel that there are a lot of people that are going to learn a very, very valuable lesson, which is one of the reasons why I don't associate with roast and gag sectors anymore. Because what this group of people does is they go around, they make up lies about people, they state those lies as if they are the truth. And the issue with that is that if those lies that were told are causing either some sort of loss in that person's life, or if they are causing mental anguish or stress in that person's life, you have created injury with your tongue. So, the Bible, which everybody loves the Bible, okay? The Bible probably has hundreds of verses talking about lying, talking about being careful how you use your tongue, because your tongue can hurt you. If you are lying on somebody, if you are saying disparaging, going around, okay, there's a big difference between saying, hey, I think this person is ugly, I think that they suck, I don't agree with some of their opinions and viewpoints. Okay, that's freedom of speech. But if you go somewhere and say, hey, this person said this, they did this, I saw them doing this, and you go around the community and you do this, then you are guilty of slander, which is also fraud, in my opinion. It's an apparent lie. It's a deception that you are carrying out. These things do have very negative spiritual ramifications. So here's my theory. I believe that the reason why people lie is because of the demon of lies. That's just what I believe. You guys know I believe in demons. You guys know that I believe in negative spirits. I believe that people can get caught up with negative spirits, but you still will be punished for it. It does not matter. You may not be punished as severely if you genuinely didn't know and you genuinely made a mistake. But most people, when they are carrying out these things, they think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But it is that big of a deal. It is a very, very big deal. And see, people in general in the public have their eyes open and they have their third eye open. Okay. And they're not going to necessarily believe you, but it's just the point of the fact that you said it. You created injury in another person. You had no proof. You had no documentation. You like literally there's no document or proof that exists that any of that is true, but yet you are still spreading these rumors and lies. And 9 times out of 10, if you've got a beef with somebody long term, 9 times out of 10, you are facilitating that beef just by getting involved with it. It's a very slippery slope. You have to be careful with some people. People that lie a lot tend to rub their negative energy off on others. So this is when people will try to work extra hard off the cuff to stigmatize you in some sort of way. Now, I don't condone rape and violence against women. In fact, I wish that there was some sort of way that we could put violent offenders like this, that we could just put them somewhere away from society for the rest of their lives. But yet there is this one person that insists on lying and speaking things to the public about me that don't exist. This man keeps saying over and over again that I wished that his daughter would be raped. Now imagine the mindset of a person that would actually wish that on somebody. I would never do it, and I've never done it. But to cover up for his faults, okay, and to say, well, I did what I did and it was pretty disgusting, but she did something equally as disgusting. Well, no, I didn't. I never said that. So you see what I'm saying? And that is that victim playing mentality. And I don't play victim. If I've done something, I will admit it. I don't owe nobody no explanation. I'm a grown ass woman. When you become grown, you don't have to lie to kick it. Everybody may say something when they're upset, but there are certain things that certain types of people will not say if they're upset. I'm not the type of person that would wish rape on a woman or a child. I'm not that type of person that would do that. That would even say that. That wouldn't even be my response. And that's not what I said. But people are spinsters. They like to spin things to justify their actions. Look, if you're somebody that's playing victim, you're only going to make it worse. Look, the more lies you tell, you've got to back that lie up with another lie. Then you got to tell another lie with another lie. The next thing you know, you are in a trap. And it's simply because you were too afraid to admit to your truth. And you have to be able to speak your truth. You don't go and slander somebody else's name trying to cover up your own mistake, especially if you're trying to slander somebody that tried to help you redeem yourself. Okay, guys, you got to understand that a lot of these people that you meet, these people are spiritual tests. They are testing you spiritually. So for you to completely, bypass the entire lesson, and the only thing that you can do is play victim and say, hey, wait a minute, I was the victim here because this person said that and that person never said it, then you're getting yourself into a lot of trouble that you could potentially be sued for. And let me just tell y'all something. A lot of men run around here worrying about child support. Well, please believe that they will lock you up for not being able to pay off a civil lawsuit debt. Lies are something that can lead you into the slammer. Because, and here's the thing. It would be nice if we lived in a world where instantly a computer popped up whenever somebody was lying and said, this person is lying, this is fake news. They're actually doing that on Facebook. On Facebook where they'll, just have these ridiculous stories and it'll be fake news. And right up underneath it, it'll say, this was confirmed as a fake story. It would be nice if we had that kind of technology that would just automatically tell you, because there are some people that would believe it, and it's okay for those people to believe it. Rape is a very, very sensitive topic. So when you go around continuously, I could sue this dude for saying that because that's not what I said. I could literally take him to a courtroom in the state of Georgia and sue him for $15,000 is the maximum that you can get in small claims court. And I would win. You know why I would win? Because there's no evidence at all that I said that about this man's daughter. He would definitely lose based upon that one statement. You've got to use your discernment. People have the right to sue you when you are slandering them. And you can't complain about it and say, "Oh, you went and complained to the system." And well, I mean, what do you expect for people to do? You're consistently telling this lie that's totally not the truth. And things like that can make people look at a person a certain way. Now, here's my whole thing about it. It is a blatant disrespect for spiritualists, for certain spiritualists. For me, no, I am not perfect, but no, I would not wish rape or anything horrible to happen to anybody. But the fact that this person wants to keep saying it is only because he's codependent. He knows that he's being called out for the disgusting thing that he said about children, for the disgusting things he said about children. So he has to save face, take the heat off himself, and say, well, she wished this and this, that. And it's like, no, she didn't. Where's your proof of that? So, I think that this is a part of teaching your children social skills. This is a part of teaching your children social skills. Perhaps if somebody would have taught these people and actually sat down and taught, yeah, Shy. If the parent may have sat down, and this doesn't always help because some people are just who they are, so we don't always blame parents. But if you would have sat down and maybe an adult that had some ethics and some morals would have sat down and explained to you, you can't do this. You have to own up and admit to your mistakes as a human being. You cannot just say, oh, well, I said those horrible, disparaging remarks. I made myself look that way because this person did that, or this person did this, and that, or they said this and that. And so that's my excuse. So that excuses you? No, it doesn't. First of all, so I'm taking it very seriously, the slander thing. I was one of the spiritualists that went on they launched a heavy smear campaign against me. And the reason why they did it is because of jealousy, is because people know my potential. People know that I'm trustworthy. There's a lot of people that don't have that kind of trust. People don't trust them. So what they do is they want to put that cloud or around you so that people won't trust you either. Well, you know what? In my business, I am trusted. People have to be able to trust me. But see, my whole thing about it is that it's not about whether or not you can trust me. It's about whether or not I can trust me. Because becoming involved with this person was literally a stain anyway. But it was a lesson that I had to learn because I was involved with them. And because it's actually not a lesson because I tried to help. I tried to help this person. I gave this person a full purging of their sins. And they decided to hold on to that sin and not only hold on to the original sin, but then extend and expand upon the original stuff that they did, which made it worse. So, I just don't know what to tell people like that. But what I can tell you is that you got to be careful who you get your information from, because this person has no proof. If somebody says something disgusting like that, I think that if you wish rape on anyone, you have got to either be a disgusting person or maybe you were upset at that time that you said it. whatever the case was, okay, that would be a very dark and sinister thing to wish on a child. And I would never wish something like that on a 13-year-old child. And see, this is the reason why I don't respect most people. I don't respect that person. I respect most people. I don't respect that person. Because this person said, "Oh, I don't talk about you anymore," but yet you're still lying. And this is a serious problem. I think he just doesn't know any better. Let's whatever the excuse is, it's still wrong. It doesn't matter if you don't know any better. You will find out and you will learn through those spiritual lessons that you're going to be taught. Now, for some reason, there is a lot of people, literally, these people are so far away from God and anything good. I swear to Goddess, these people will say anything. They will say anything. They have no morals. They have no respect for other people. They will take somebody's name. They will say things about them just to make themselves look or feel better, and they don't care. And these are things that you can't do. I don't care how desperate you are. Now, there are some people on here, for some reason, they will equate this energy somewhat as being a sacrificial lamb. So for some reason, these people think that by slandering people, they are actually throwing someone else under the bus, bigging themselves up. But that's not the way sacrifice actually works. You're just lying on people. Sacrifice is sacrifice. We just watched a very good movie. What was the name of that movie on Netflix we just watched? It's called Rattlesnake. Y'all should go and look at that movie on Netflix. It is such a good movie. Very, very interesting movie about spiritual sacrifice. Okay, spiritual sacrifice has nothing to do with your petty differences. It has nothing to do with, in fact, sacrifices will come to you. You don't necessarily hunt somebody and sacrifice them, even though it's sort of the same thing. Okay, even though you possibly could do that, there's certain stipulations when it comes to human sacrifice. So a lot of these people will equate, well, I can just go and lie, and then people will think some type of way about that person. They'll believe me because they're believing in my lie, and then they'll be more than likely either to come to me or either be friends with me or want to be cool with me. The problem with that is that you are still lying, which is one of the biggest sins. And if you don't believe in sin, and if you don't believe in that, that's fine. But you still don't have the right to hurt and harm others in that way. You're not performing some kind of weird sacrifice. You're just a liar. That's just like I tried to explain to them that dialing my phone over and over again, sending people to my house, that doesn't equate as hoodoo or voodoo. That equates as you filing false reports and you stalking somebody, which is against the law to physically stalk somebody. So if you were really doing real magic, there would be no need to send anybody. So this has been exposed a long time ago, that these people claimed they were doing black magic, but what they were doing was setting themselves up. You will see the whole point of, let me just give y'all a little secret about practicing witchcraft real quick. The whole point about witchcraft is to set the record straight, bring the energies back into balance, is the point of witchcraft. That's the whole point of it. Okay. The point of witchcraft is not faking it until you make it. And then another thing about witchcraft is that witchcraft is totally legal. If you are a practitioner that has the power, okay, if you are a practitioner that has the power, Okay, to actually manipulate the energies around somebody to where you're not calling landlords, you're not calling people, you're not doing anything like that, but you have the potential to literally wreck somebody's life. That is real magic. Calling people's landlords, launching smear campaigns, lying on people is only setting yourself up for failure. This is not real witchcraft. And it is manipulation. Yes, you're manipulating, but it doesn't fall under the category of real magic. So I had to explain this to a couple of people because they just kept going on and calling the phone back to back, and as if somebody's going to be upset about somebody calling the phone. Now it is pretty bad when you got folks showing up at your house. That's pretty bad. But again, most people would not be afraid of somebody coming to their house because they own either the house or they own a leaseholder estate, and they have the right to stand their ground. So at the end of the day, you're still displaying a weakness. Okay. People that are spiritually and magically strong don't have to lie. They don't have to criminalize themselves. They don't have to do that. They don't have to say anything. And this was a lesson that I learned because, guys, for some reason, and I was pulled into it because there were several faces and images that were used to pull me into it, of people that I knew. They used everybody in their power to draw me in. But I really honestly didn't even have to respond to them at all, which is the way it should be. So that's why they go through great lengths of lying, because they want to get some sort of acknowledgement from real spiritualists, because they want to know that what they did worked for whatever reason. I mean, if you are speaking the way that I'm speaking, this is typically not the reaction that they want. They want you to be very emotional. They want you to be emotional. They want you to be hurt. I'm convinced that this person is just an agent provocateur. Nothing that he has said was the truth, as far as with how he feels and all of that. People like that will use, but he's proven himself to be a snake over and over again. So this is something that, we have all digressed from. But the whole point of it is that if somebody continues to slander you, you have every right to sue them. And keep in mind, guys, it only costs $50 to file a $15,000 lawsuit, and it only costs $20 to get a sheriff to serve the papers for that. So it's not even expensive at all. In fact, depending on your income bracket, they will actually waive your filing fees if you can prove that you are going through financial trouble. They'll waive your fees. Okay. So, guys, you got to understand that you got to be more responsible than that. You can't just, and telling a liar not to lie is like telling a human being not to breathe. These people will lie quicker than a cat will lick its ass. That's just like telling a cat, hey, don't lick your ass. We all know cats are going to lick their ass. Okay. So liars, yeah. Oh, well, true crimes, of course. It just happened today. That one statement, I could download it, screenshot it, take it to court, and and prove that it's been something that has been happening over the years and get the maximum of the lawsuit. Or I could take it to Supreme Court if I wanted to get even more. So in small claims court, it tends to be less, but in Supreme Court you can actually get more. Okay. You're welcome, Sha. So now this is what I want to tell you guys. Most of us, I would say probably at least half of us, have this issue. And most of you may not be in the frame of mind, or maybe you just don't have the time. There could be tons and tons of reasons why. One of the reasons why I haven't sued anybody is because I've been so busy with my business, and that has nothing to do with them. That has to do with my energy. But what you can do is work to remove that negative perception off of you. So, being that, I'm a spiritualist, there's two ways past that. First of all, when somebody lies on you or slanders you, they are hexing or vexing you. And this man hexes or vexes me every day. He tries to. It's a spoken hex. Okay. It's negative energy. So that person put that energy on you. Now, I'm already doing a cord cutting. I'm going to keep a cord cutting going. Like I told you guys, either a black 7-day or a white 7-day cord cutting candle, banishment, cord cutting to this person. Sometimes when you have somebody like that, that is, on your tracks really heavily, you have to keep a candle going because this person is literally not going to stop. It is a very self-destructive pattern, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist. It's either destroy or be destroyed when it comes to these people. Okay, it's just the reality of it. It's pathological for a lot of them. This is the reason why they have no peace. But you don't necessarily have to go through the court system now, and you can buy yourself some time, but eventually you are going to want to pursue some sort of court action so that you can actually get that judgment against that person. So then that person will owe you a debt. It will, and that person may even still go around slandering you. They may even continue to do it. Now, I will tell you that once a judge, what do they call that? Once a judge tells you not to do something and you do it again, then I think they can hold you in contempt and you can go to jail. So, a lot of people, and I've noticed that this guy does have a criminal record. I'm a very loving and forgiving person. I have a tendency to see past things like that because I truly believe that when people have paid their debt to society, that is fine. But for some reason, this person truly did not learn any lessons. So unfortunately, the people that are caught up in this person's trail have to deal with it. And see, everybody that this person slanders is probably not going to sue him. But there is specific spiritual work that you can do so that your reputation is not negatively affected. Because I know that a lot of women and a lot of men have been negatively affected. They've been negatively affected by somebody's gossip, slander, and lies. And I'm sorry, guys, I got interrupted. Give me a second. Okay, give me a second, y'all. Let me answer my friend real quick. So, a lot of these people that are doing this, they honestly don't know. I don't know if it's a curse. I think that if you are directly breaking the law, and when you start to be when you start to get led to that sort of destructive behavior, and I can tell you that a person that is a big liar, that this is not good, and the spirits do frown upon people like that because there's been a lot of people that have been hurt by their reputations being ruined, in particular women. You know what? I noticed that my situation or my issue started years ago when I broke up with an ex. It was something very simple. It wasn't anything that incriminated me, but it was something that he said that made me look crazy. He claimed that I had called the police and told them that a little girl that was found in Kansas City with her head chopped off was his daughter. Now, no, there had been no deaths in his family. For some reason, he just ran around telling people that. I don't know why he did that to this day. This was the start of it. And he was a Gemini. Gemini's got to be careful because, Geminis have a tendency. Now, this is the second Gemini that is done that. And they have a tendency to make mistakes. And see, he's been through a lot. That Gemini that I'm talking about, he's been through a lot throughout the years because he told that one white lie on me. Why would I say that? Like, what? Like, I always ask people, first of all, who told you that I said that? And it's not even that big of a deal. He said that I called the police over to his house claiming that Precious Doe was his daughter. Now, clearly, evidently, the police must have showed up at his house. I had nothing to do with it. I had just saw his daughter. But for some reason, he decided to go around and tell people that. And I think what it was somebody else may have done that to him, and he assumed that it was me. I wasn't even thinking about doing. Why would I do something like that? But it just goes to show one of those things. And see, I think that that was the beginning to where, people sort of, and yeah, I have actually heard of people ruining people's reputation falsely throughout their town, throughout their neighborhood. People usually have to move and relocate because the slander has been so bad, because people just tend to think they can say whatever they want. And I'm gonna tell you, he was the start of my issues in my hometown. But these things, you can bypass these things spiritually. Just to let you guys know, I know that there have been a lot of people that have been hurt, discouraged, because for some reason, if it's got something dangling in between its legs, even though it's a lie, people will still accept it as truth. So men have a tendency to tell more lies that everybody tends to believe, and the woman ends up being judged because of those disparaging remarks. And even though he can be lying, that's just like I was with my ex. He was abusive. He was very abusive physically as well as psychologically. And what he did was, the way that he got away with it was he went around and told people that I was crazy. Men do that a lot. Now, there was many of nights where I would be sitting there minding my business, and then all of a sudden he would start beating on me. And this is the God to honest truth. But in order to save face, because of course he's not man enough, usually abusive men lie a lot. Okay. The abusers are the liars. So instead of him saying, yeah, I need help, I did, beat this woman. Instead of him doing that, he would just tell people, oh, you're crazy. She's crazy. Even though I would just be sitting there minding my own business. I wasn't even very high strung back then either. I was very docile back then. I was very young. I was in my early 20s, and I didn't have all this hell in me like I do now, to where I'm gonna give them hell. So, everybody knew it, it was a complete lie, but he knew that the game that he needed to play, which is why it has become very popular. And back then, this was so long ago, we didn't even have cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone. People have begun to record people with their cell phone as proof. Women have had to record men being abusive to them just so that they can prove it in court, because more than likely, the woman, if the man does not admit to his faults, the woman is going to suffer for it. So spirit tells you, well, no, that's not right. That's not just. That's not fair. So this is the reason why we are able to bind your enemy, even though they may talk crazy or they may have things to say. Nobody's going to believe them, because people are going to realize that it's a lie, because this is a game that a lot of men play. For some, I don't know what it is. I'm going to ruin her or either him. Men do it to other men. I'm upset. I'm going to ruin this person, and they'll tell a lie that quick, or either they'll embellish. Spinning the story is still considered to be a lie. It doesn't matter if there is it doesn't matter what the individual person thinks is reality, or their perception of reality. In another person's reality, you're not going to get away with spreading rumors about that person and lying on them. And nobody is going to have to judge. So, I had to, and you've got to do your core cuttings. You've got to do your cleanses, because these men, and women will do it too. They are out of control. But more than likely, when a man opens up his mouth, and for some reason, I mean, this can be a man that, and nobody understands why Men get away with it. Now, I mean, I don't get it. What I will tell you is that spiritually, the reason why men get away with it is because of patriarchy. So that's the reason why somebody that has proven themselves to either be a rapist, a predator, or a pedophile can take a woman and say and hide behind her literally like a coward. Now, in reality, we're my spirits. Okay, my spirits are that person is never gonna live it down until they tell the truth. It's never gonna happen. And it's been proven. They have to keep going and going and going. You're not going to get a lie over on me. That's why you have to keep telling the lie over and over again, because you didn't get it off the first time. You didn't get it off the second time. So there is a way to protect yourself without having to spend a bunch of money on an attorney. You guys can come and get spiritual work for that. Okay, it will tide you over until spirit is ready to take that person into that courtroom, because they will eventually take them to the nearest courtroom. Spirits is running the courtrooms. They're running it all. And I told y'all that I'm utterly convinced the last time I had to go to court, the judge was merely an extension of who I was, the way he talked, the way he looked, his spirit, very kind-hearted. And I told y'all that. So spirit is running the courtroom, which is the reason why I have such success on my court cases, okay? Because when it boils down to it, everybody has the right to prosper. Everybody has the right to survive, and not just survive, but manifest what they want. But you constantly have these agents that will go around and they will lie and they will spread rumors. And that's all this person was there for, was to create doubt, and he does it every day. He's a zombie. He's a zombie. He does it every single day. He has to say something to try to make me look bad. And it's because he doesn't want to go through it alone. He's already exposed himself for being who he is. And yeah, we all know that I have an airtight lawsuit against this person. Do I have to drag him up into court? Am I ever going to lose wages over it? Hell no. Are you kidding me? Guys, these people went around and called me everything except for a child of God, and it was all a lie. And God taught me faith and trust in God, because no matter what they said, it did not matter. And that was the whole point, was to ruin my reputation, ruin my career, ruin what I had, ruin my mission, which this is God's mission. You can't ruin God's mission. God's mission, and the reason why I am even here, number one is to experience earthly pleasures, to experience life, but it's also to help people. So these people wanted to lie, try to make me look bad. Never worked. Why do you think that happened? It's because of the spiritual work, and it's not a lie. I'll go to my altar and say, spirit, somebody, I'll go and look, I know how to talk to my spirits. They already calling me to my altar. Spirit, somebody told a lie on me. Let's clear it out. Let's clear it out so that it does not affect you, so that your family is not affected, so that your business is not affected, so that your mission is not affected. You see what I'm saying? Well, in Sha, more than likely, let me tell you something. People will believe a lie before the truth, but that's not always the case, because people have believed in me. People have never stopped believing in me. But let me add on to that, though. It depends on who's telling the lie. It depends on who's telling the lie. Because if you are a woman that has been raped, you know that the way men have it set up now is that you are the culprit and the men are the victim. Think about this. So more than likely, if you are a woman that goes to the police station and you're not beat up, mangled, or half dead, and you say, hey, I was raped, By an acquaintance, they forced themselves on me. They wouldn't stop asking. They wouldn't stop asking for my consent. They asked for my consent over and over again until I gave in, right? Because they consider that to be rape too. More when that case is started, the way men have this set up, the way patriarchy has it set up, is that a man can rape a woman. He does not have to deal with any of the negative ramifications of what he has done to her because that woman is under judgment. She is considered the liar and the man is considered the truth. More than likely, if it's a man, people are going to believe. And this is bullcrap because it can be a lying snake that has proved himself over and over again to be a complete fraud. But people will still believe just because it has a phallus and a set of testicles. Is this fair? No. But unfortunately, this is the false reality that a lot of us have to deal with. And you have to be able to bring balance, fairness, and justice into reality. You have to be able to do it because otherwise you'll be screwed. And let me just say this to the gentleman that keeps doing this. If you were powerful enough to ruin my reputation and to ruin me, buddy, or to ruin my business, you would have done it years ago. I am too. I'm sick of patriarchy. Patriarchy has screwed up the relationship between men and women. It has made us enemies of each other. And, you can't be emotional about it. After you get over the initial shock of trusting somebody and then violating your trust, okay, yeah, give yourself a couple of days to deal with the emotional aspect of it. But then after that, you have to go into fight mode. You have to fight for your life. There's many women are in fact fighting for their lives from these men, and there is a problem. And yeah, the behavior does raise a question. It's been raised the question of, is this fair for somebody to be able to continuously tell lies about somebody and continuously and no, it's not, but it doesn't mean that they always have to win, guys. Liars never prosper. And if they are prospering, there's usually some sort of black magic or high priestess that is behind it. So you've got your dark workers that will they'll try with all their might to get the public to accept slander and the lie. But unfortunately, fortunately, when you have a close knit connection with your spirits and you know how to clear that energy out away from you, okay, then you'll be fine. But you have to be willing to do the work. You can't just say, oh, I give up. If I were a quitter, I would have been gone long ago. Okay. And unfortunately, we have a lot of misinformed men out there and women, but these are patriarchal women as well that stand firmly behind the man because they are jealous of what you were able to do as a woman without a man. So unfortunately, what a lot of these men are doing is they are using their gender. And then also when it comes to single parenthood, men are not judged because of being single parents. It's only the woman that is being judged. Okay, so a lot of them have it set up like that as well. And I just think it's a shame. I think that I think that the fact that these men do have these patriarchal type of women, it does suck. So that means that these men, will never be any good for any kind of good woman. So, I feel like just let them go. They can't let go because they stalk, they harass, they never stop. Okay. So just to let you guys know, because I feel strongly that a lot of you are dealing with this. Hold on, guys. I'm in here in the bathroom. Um, I feel strongly that a lot of you peeps are dealing with this. Let me tell you something. They don't have to win. I've been telling y'all over and over again that you can actually make it irregardless to if somebody, oh, that's what I was going to say. These men want to run your business. They want to dictate to you what you should be able to do with your uterus. Why y'all think I got attacked so much? Because I made the choice and the decision to have a child out of wedlock with a donor. So it's been all out war since then. It's not their vagina. So then they had to lie. Oh, well, you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing this and that and the other. And it's a total farce. Where's your proof of that? What, and so they doing themselves a disservice is what I can promise you. I can promise you they're doing themselves a disservice because at the end of the day, you still a liar and you still going to have to deal with it. Now, unfortunately, men get away with lying a lot. They do. They get away with it. And the reason why is because they are using their spirituality. They are using deities. They are using demons. They are using all sorts of ways and to get away with lying. And nobody will ever understand why. I don't understand why a man would feel the need to want to ruin a woman's reputation or life just because she doesn't want him anymore. Obviously, men do. I've noticed on a whole, like I rarely do I run into a woman that can't handle rejection because women got so many choices. But there are women that can be sort of acrimonious or whatever. But more than likely, it's gonna come from a man. Most of the evil that is being done comes from men. Most of it. Okay. And they'll say, well, men get abused too. Yes, they do. And we acknowledge those men. We acknowledge those men that get raped. We acknowledge those men that are victims of patriarchy. Yeah, there's a lot of men that are negatively affected by patriarchy. They just want to live their life and be happy, but they can't. Okay, so men are just as equally affected by this crazy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a false world. It doesn't even make any sense. It has nothing to do with the universe. It's very disrespectful to the divine feminine. The divine feminine created you and the divine feminine can take you out. Now, we all know that men have guns. So guns, the fact that there's still guns around, guns were created to scare women. Okay, now we know that they were created to protect us from animals, but they began to use the guns to terrorize the women into doing what they wanted. So men, by creating guns, they created this power source for themselves that can kill and destroy you. But a woman spiritually, okay, a man is no match for a woman that is in her element, in her power spiritually. But yeah, they can, some of them, if they can't control you in the astral, if they can't control your energy, yeah, they will try to take you out. So this is unfortunately, the world that some of these men live in. It's not the world we live in. It's the world and it is the perception of reality that these types of people live in. And you just want to be around like-minded people. You think it comes from Catholicism? Yeah, that could be true. It would be so nice, because it would be really nice if men and women could get along. I think that men are fighting a losing battle. I think that we all know how this ends. Anytime you tell a woman that she's a sinner just because she has a split in between her legs, but you are literally, we can run down the list of sins that you have committed out of your own Bible that you wrote. But see, it's all BS anyway. To them, it's all BS. But see, they created the law, but then they don't want to follow their own laws and then they end up screwing themselves. Now, as far as with forgiveness, I believe that I don't believe, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I have been forgiving, and that forgiveness thing, sometimes it just don't work to your advantage, especially if a person just keeps doing the same thing over and over again with the same result. So I think that there are some cases where you want to forgive people, especially if it's your kids and your family, but some random person, and for that person to just keep, taking your kindness for weakness, then it's time for you to just cut the cord and just move on with your life. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. So forgiveness is a beautiful thing. I wish that we could all forgive everybody, but unfortunately, because of the behavior, because of the attitudes, we can't do that. Okay, so I can assure the public that I value and I cherish both women and men, both male and female, both genders. I would never wish for anything bad to happen to anybody. That is who I am. Nobody else can speak for me. Okay? No speak for me. That's just the end of it. And that is the truth about all of you women out there. Because I know y'all out there. And I know for a fact that it's not even something that has to do with affecting you business. Everybody doesn't have a business. Some of you women have went through changes to where won't nobody else in your town date you because this man has created this cloak around you of judgment. This is unfair. This is unfair. Okay. Yeah, it's some people that you just can't forgive. Okay, guys, I gotta go. You guys enjoyed this. I hope that it made you feel better. If you guys are dealing with discrimination, if you guys are dealing with, this situation, you guys can be helped. Don't give up because the tongue is very powerful. And sometimes when people speak to you, those words can become a spell on you to where you will take it into your consciousness and then you will carry on the characteristics of somebody that's not even you, but you're walking in it and you're standing in it instead of standing in your own power and true you who you truly are. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you what's been effective for me. Nobody's lies will ever affect me. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. Personally, it's something that doesn't even need to be addressed personally from my standpoint. It doesn't need to be addressed anymore. But from you guys' standpoint, I know for a fact that if you guys would have faced what I faced, which was that smear campaign and just outright lies, a lot of you would have probably given up or you wouldn't have known what to do. Okay. So there is a way for you to still make it out there because I'm gonna tell you something. It's a state of emergency for women. Women have been harmed and hurt for far too long because of this. They've been hurt because of it. Men calling up to your jobs, they mother calling. My ex had his mother call up to my very good job. He was in jail. She called up to the job on the three-way so that her son could threaten my boss and make me lose my job. So many of you have been hurt and yeah, it's pretty sad is what I can tell y'all. There is a spell for that. Don't ever give up. Don't ever be discouraged, okay? Know that you have just as many rights, if not more. Well, I don't want to say if not more. We're all created equal. But as a woman, no man has the right to tell you what your value is. No man has the right to dictate to you what you are. And he definitely don't have the right to try to make you look a certain way just because he's a certain way. So there is a spell for that. Okay. So if you guys need to reach me, you are very welcome, True Crimes. Y'all have a happy Friday. I know that it's raining outside right now, so I'm just gonna kind of relax until I got to do some readings later on. But if you guys need to reach me for a reading, the link, my contact information, or either a consultation. I don't even know why I even call them readings anymore, because most of the people that come to me are looking for some kind of spell work. Okay. So I will see you guys later. Probably will come back a little bit later with some readings for you guys. I hope that this helped you guys and encouraged you and uplifted you. Do not get discouraged, even though the devil is a liar. Okay. Because we got you over here. Even if you made mistakes, you still are not what they say that you are. And that's all I got to say. Okay. I love you guys. Love and light. Bye bye.